stream is up.
I don't know why I'm sitting like that.
And I'm going to roll the credits here. 3, 2, and...
Here, turn your sign on. The Redneck Tech Podcast is brought to you by Mike'sArchery.com. They're a one-stop shop for virtually everything archery, bow hunting, and for your next outdoor adventure. Mike's Archery has been at the top of the archery game for over 50 years, and they want to give listeners of the Redneck Tech Podcast 10% off their entire online store using the code REDNECK10, all one word. Just put the code in before you check out, and your boys will hook you up. The guys at Mike's have always been good to us, and now they can be good to you too. Visit Mike'sArchery.com and get your gear now.
Right here. Yeah. You want him? Yeah. What's up, everybody? We are back. I have no notes for this because it's been 3 months since we did a podcast. Yes, 3 whole months since we did our last podcast before we ever started filming the fall, which would have been, I didn't even look at the date. Let me see if it gives me a date on the, it just says 3 months ago. Let me go to the actual track and see if it says when the upload date was. Oh, upload date. It just says 3 months ago. Why doesn't it give me a date? Is that not dumb? Like, share, copy, link, maybe. It just says 3 months.
What if you click into it?
I did click into it.
Into the full episode page?
Just says 3 months ago.
Interesting.
So it feels like 3 days and 3 months all at the same time.
Yeah. Because
it seems like yesterday we were doing our class, and now we are in not even a lull. You know, it's about to be Thanksgiving. That's the only lull we get. Thank God there's a holiday. Otherwise, we wouldn't even have that. But it has been an absolute balls to the wall fall, which what else would we do? You know, it's like, this is what we do. We go as hard as we can and be gone as long as we can. And we're kind of pegged out. I know for sure Clay was. I know you just wanted another mule deer hunt. You just wanted one more.
Mort's on here. He might hate me for saying this. Although I don't think Mort said
Mort's
that mule deer.
Mort's an elk guy.
He's an elk guy. If he had to choose,
he's pure at heart.
Yeah. 30 days, give or take, of mule deer for a cross-eyed ginger who didn't have binos, a spotting scope, and can't see more than this far in front of my face was a lot. I was just kind of operating on faith that people were seeing deer. They'd be like, there's a deer over there, and it'd be 4 miles away on this hillside. I'm like,
mule deer
gonna have to trust you.
Mule deer is very tough.
Well, you would think. So the crazy thing is, you get a 600 millimeter lens, and you're like, that's so long.
At 4K, so it's really 1200.
Yeah, you're like, I'll be able to see everything at all. Like, I'm zooming in on eyes. And then you film, and it's like the mule deer is still that big. Like, apparently I need a 10,000 millimeter
lens.
You
need to carry around the Hubble telescope.
Yeah, I did a conversion of like what a 30 power spotting scope was to the millimeter equivalent, and I'll have to look it up, but it was like I wasn't even in the ballpark. Like, it wasn't even
really.
Yeah, it wasn't even a measuring contest of, you know what I'm talking about. I wouldn't have even been close. I wouldn't even enter that contest.
Huh.
Like, what's a pretty typical spotting scope?
20 to 50 powers, yeah.
So let's do 30 power spotting scope
in millimeters.
Millimeters. Let's see. I'll look for it. You keep talking.
Well, there's so much to talk about. Like, I was kind of thinking about that before we went live. Like, what actually are we going to talk about? You know, Clay's not here. He is with family for Thanksgiving, and that's Thanksgiving's tomorrow. This is the first day that Ryer and I have been in the office at the same time. And
okay.
I mean, we don't really have an hour to spare, but we're going to try and spare an hour.
60 by magnification is equivalent to a 3,000 millimeter lens.
Wow, yeah, you weren't even close.
So yeah, a 600 millimeter,
even just a baby.
Even a 1,200 millimeter.
You're still not in the ballpark.
Yeah, not even close.
3,000 millimeter? Do they even make a lens that long?
I think so.
Why would you want something like that? Well, I mean, I don't understand why you'd need it.
Let's see, 3,000 millimeter lens. Astrophotography.
Well, I guess there's that.
Let's see.
Yeah, but the stars are going to move before you get to.
Well, once you're in that ballpark, you've got sky motion trackers on your. It's basically a telescope, and you've got it motion tracked so that it's staying consistent.
Sounds miserable.
You get some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's this? Nikon. That's a 300. Good job, Google. You missed.
And if you guys are watching on the live stream, you should be hearing better audio. Please comment if you're not, because we have officially rigged up the wireless go-tos to the phone. So you should be able to hear nice, crisp, clean audio, just like you're listening to the podcast or to the live stream. So,
albeit it's a little noisy.
Little bit, but way better than if we were yelling across the room at an iPhone speaker. So, I mean, we're so high-tech in here. We have our tripod on a table and everything in the background. So, we're figuring this crap out. I mean, we've only been doing this since 2018. So, we're just now getting it figured out.
It says the longest lens is a Canon 5200.
52
f14 Telemonster.
5200. How much
and
is
it's
that?
a prime. You won't be zooming.
How much is that lens?
I'll have to look that up
And
separately.
is it as big as this table?
It looks like a bazooka. Like
I
a
bet.
literal Canon 5200 prime. F14. Better have good light.
I bet it's $100,000, if not more.
Meet the Canon 5200 F14. Like, don't even put the F number there. F14.
It doesn't matter anymore.
One of these, it's okay. So the minimum distance is 400 feet. That's not bad. The weight is 220 pounds.
Yeah.
It's
about my weight.
One of these monsters sold on eBay a few years ago for $50,000.
Wow. They probably only made a handful of them.
That looks like a military weapon.
Looks stupid. So you just mount a R5 on the back of that?
I guess. Why? Just go to a telescope.
I mean, I'm assuming it's E-mount. I mean, anyway, moving on as we digress.
The lens focuses on objects 18 to 32 miles. 18 to 32 miles.
Wow.
That's a spy plane lens. That's what that is.
Maybe.
That's from the spy era, 100%.
Maybe so. But anyway, so we have been, I don't have to look back at the calendar. Like, dude, I don't even know where all we've been since the last podcast and what we've done. I know we talked about it, and that podcast we had, kind of setting up the fall, did really well.
Quiet.
So I'm gonna go in here and look at our calendar and tell you all the places we've been. So if last podcast was before elk season, right? Was it after? It was after the mule deer hunt, right? With Lee and Tiffany. Had to been.
I feel like I've been doing mule deer all year.
Okay, it was the one where Clay had a really rough trip. With Lee and Tiffany, the first trip he went on.
He had a rough trip?
Yeah. We'll talk about that after the podcast. How do you not? You know about this.
I probably do.
The Ranger debacle.
Oh.
Yeah.
Crash.
Yeah. So he had. I wasn't gonna out you, Clay, but he had a really, really rough trip. But he's been doing much, much better since.
Got y'all.
And it's dude.
Oh yeah, that was early season. That was the mule deer before elk. Before also mule deer.
Yeah, that was the one right after the class.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if we talked about that, but it's so far back. Tiffany killed an awesome mule deer, and that's about it. But anyway, so to update where we're at, we've been filming for the Crush all fall and been doing stuff for Rolly White. I was with Dudley all September. Dudley and I went to Colorado. You were in Deseret with everybody.
Yeah, but I was
You're with
I will have to consult my calendar now because I forget who I've been where
You
with.
you were in Deseret, weren't you, with everybody else?
Yeah.
Who were you with?
Oh, you forgot the moose trip. We did a moose trip.
Oh, you did the moose trip. No.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Where are we starting?
I forgot about the moose
We're
trip.
going to start in August?
Okay, so, yes, let's start back. So
We had the production class. Was August 5th to 8th.
So then Ryer and I went to Maine for a veterans moose hunt, which was a lot of fun. Never had been to Maine before, so that was a first for me. That was a lot of fun.
I ate broccoli right out of a field.
He did?
Literally picked it because they told me. They're like, because obviously, do I look like a man who likes broccoli? No. But, I was willing to try it because they were like, man, this broccoli's different. This broccoli is better. Right out of the ground, this broccoli is like, it's nothing like any broccoli you've ever tasted. Hyped it up. So for like 2.5 days, I was in fields with no broccoli. It had all been either harvested or eaten by moose. And so I'm like, am I even going to get to try these bold claims of delicious broccoli before I leave? Well, last night we are in a field and there's broccoli. So, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm going to try this. Had very high expectations for broccoli, which I shouldn't have. I tried it and it tastes just like broccoli. Just no extra anything. In fact, it was drier than I would think it was.
You got to really church up broccoli.
Yeah, with ranch, could have probably done
ranch.
Like that could have been a good snack. Because I heard of a guy, that's why it got me inspired to try the broccoli, because they said a guy showed up, found out they were going to be sitting in broccoli, literally with broccoli by the side of the chairs.
So he brought ranch.
And so he brought ranch to the field with him and would just pick broccoli, pour ranch, munch on it. And I was like, that is a pro gamer move.
That is.
If I've ever seen one. Like, that's the ultimate snackage, okay? It's not very often that you can just source your snack from right here and not have to bring it. Like, that's snack efficiency. Plus the ranch, beautiful. But I didn't have ranch, so just straight broccoli, not good.
We didn't, you ended up shooting a moose, but we never found it, right? Your guy?
Yes.
So they ended up killing 2 moose as soon as we left, of course, the next day. The one day they didn't schedule
And I
us
didn't
to stay.
see the moose because it was literally, if it was more than a minute after legal shooting light, like it was legal shooting, it was legal shooting light.
Too dark for the cameras to see.
Moose got shot.
Yeah.
And I pointed my camera in the right direction because it was dark, hoping I'd get maybe a muzzle flash.
Yeah.
I didn't get to lay eyes on the moose.
So shortly after that, Crush with Kentucky, Clay and Nate went on that one. Tiffany killed a good deer there. Then
Got some cool pictures of that deer in front of that.
Jack Daniels.
Jack Daniels barn. Those are freaking sweet.
And then Clay went to Nebraska. I'll let him tell you the Nebraska story. It was a great one. Then you filmed Brian kill a good deer here in Georgia.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, that was a fun trip. How many days were you out there doing that?
So 3 cumulative days because we did 2 days before I went. Where'd I go?
I don't know.
Let me consult my calendar.
Deseret.
Is that where I went?
Yeah.
For what?
Elk.
With. Okay, yeah. So we did 2 days.
You were with Joel.
2 days with 2 days before I went for elk, and we just didn't get a shot at one. And then when I came back, the first evening out, we got a shot on a really nice buck.
Yeah, good footage too.
Yeah.
Cool show.
Great footage.
Some of the really cool low light stuff for the FX6. So if you want to see what the FX6 is capable of, go watch the Spy Point Georgia deer hunt that happened in September, early October. Some really cool, creative, really low light stuff on the recovery. I like some of those shots. Those are really cool.
Thank you.
Really cool use of the headlamp and what light was already there instead of adding light to it.
That's one thing I think over the past 3 years I've tried to really use a lot of, because I feel like on-camera lights can look really unnatural. Sometimes you really can't get away with it depending on what it is. Like if somebody needs to go recover it and talk and behind kind of a grip and grin trophy talk, you can't always get away with not having the on-camera lights because they got to be lit up. But I try to do as much with just environmental and natural lighting as you can. And with the FS7, you could do a pretty decent job. I know on Bluestem we were pretty surprised because we kind of went the same route. and really just used natural lighting and the headlamp lights. And then, for a few kind of early morning sequences with Hunt Masters, we did that to pretty good results. They're a little grainy, and both of those projects were in logs, so that helped a little bit. But with the FX6, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's
like even just shooting inside, like with the FS7, and all my Canon lenses are f4s, so you probably have done a little bit better because you've got 2.8s. But inside, even with the FS7, it's like you at night inside with most regular house lighting, you're cranking your ISO up as far as it'll go, and the footage still looks like dog crap.
Mm-hmm.
With the FX6, you can put it in that high base mode ISO, and you actually sometimes have to dial back.
Yeah, it's too
exposure.
much light. And that's at night in the dark with just house lights on.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy how good that thing is in low light. Like, it's so much better than any camera we've ever ran. Like, it's comparable to those Sony mirrorless cameras that are so good, but I think it has less grain and it's more ergonomic, which we're not going to get into the DSLR versus big camera debate because
we do that too much.
Yeah, we do that way too much. We're big camera people. Shoot with whatever makes you happy, but we don't, we're not going to be the people to debate that anymore just because it's a lose-lose. But so FX6 is awesome. I've heard really good things about the FX3. Same thing, just smaller package, less ergonomic, but also a lot cheaper. So I went to Dudley, went with Dudley to Colorado, and had probably the most physical hunt I've ever had.
I heard about your struggle from other people.
Oh, dude.
I knew about it because I heard about it first.
But
I heard about it from you.
Here's the thing. It was a struggle. I'm not going to lie. It was really rough, which every elk hunt's rough. If you do them right, they're rough, every one of them. But Dudley likes to embellish a little bit. He likes to.
I saw physical evidence of you dying up a hill.
That day was like, okay, if we have to climb this hill one more time, I'm gonna be in trouble. Thank God we killed him at the base of that hill the next morning and didn't have to go back up. But yeah, that was a really rough trip, but also the most gorgeous place I've ever hunted. Like, we were in southern Colorado, 3 14,000-foot peaks, and it was picturesque. And we hunted so hard that I never had a lot of time to really get some of those sights and some of those scenics I would have liked to have gotten. I'd have loved a much more chill hunt to be able to really, like, if we had a film to do, that's the place to do it.
Yeah.
For elk, because, you can get, you name it, and you can get it there. The rivers, the valleys, the mountains, the peaks, the aspens, the thick pines, you name it. It's all there, and everything's accessible, but it's straight up and straight down and just elk screaming. But we ended up killing an elk next to last day, and it was the biggest bull I've ever filmed. I don't know what he scored, but he broke off one of his royals, and he was still incredible. It was really cool for me and Dudley because that's definitely the hardest him and I have worked for one together. We've worked hard for all the other ones, but that one was special because we had been chasing that bull and another bull for 4 straight days and had been on their heels every day. And you know how it is getting behind elk. You're just not going to get in front of them. And we had make one mistake, and luckily we were persistent enough to where when he made that one mistake, we were there to capitalize. And Dudley, of course, made an incredible shot. And I actually went home for 3 or 4 days when he went to Deseret, which is rare for me in September. I almost stayed and went and did a do-it-yourself hunt in Colorado, but I was like, do I want to suffer again? And I talked myself out of it.
Get pissed.
I was like, I'm just gonna go home, see my wife and kids for 3 days, and then come back to Montana to be tortured again. But Montana this year.
Were you on the FX6 or the R5?
FX6 whole time.
Okay.
I ran the R5 early in the season before I had it because I gave the FX6s to you and Clay because, I'm that kind of guy. But I finally got mine right before that Montana trip. And the only thing I'm not happy about is we're running that 28 to 200, and I didn't have any image stabilization.
Yeah. That's the one thing I have hated.
That's tough. and you notice it. And I didn't never notice it. And I always thought image stabilization. Is it that much more important? It's like hand holding it. Absolutely.
Makes
like
a big
if you're
difference.
shooting arm's length away, somebody talking, it's one thing. But if you're trying to shoot 200 millimeters or even 100 millimeters, shoulder holding it or hand holding it with no image stabilization, man, it's like you're in an earthquake. And you can't. And the stiller you try and stand, the more you move.
And the thing about the FX6 versus the FS7, or a larger camera than the FX6, that I think the FS7 would have an advantage over is in that realm.
Yeah.
Because the FS7, just bare bones, you could sit it on your shoulder and kind of tuck it back up in with that hand, arm, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And with the FX6, as it comes with the little grip on the side of the camera, you kind of more have to pull it into like your chest right here, as opposed to sitting it up top there, which is not inherently as stable.
But then we go to the other. There's so many more advantages to the FX6 than there are disadvantages
and
to the FS7.
that's easily remedied by a image stabilized lens.
And we can do some things, but like that FX6 is so light. It is so small. The low light's incredible, but if you're going to throw stones at it, not having image stabilization is tough because it's so small and light. And then the shoe mounts where they mount on top, like all of ours are broken. They're already broken.
Not mine.
Yours isn't broken?
No.
Dude.
I take care of my stuff.
I need to buy you that other FX6 mount, the FX6 mic mount before it does break. Because, dude, mine's...
Yeah.
I dropped mine at Dudley's and shattered it. Clay broke his like the first trip. Now ours are just taped on. Dude, I don't know.
What are y'all doing? Like, I'm the one who's supposed to be hard on stuff.
I've never had one break like this one broke.
And mine has been nice.
But mine's taped up, just like which the FS7s had the rail. Why didn't they do the rail for the FX6? If you have a rail, it makes everything easier. But of course, can't do that again.
You know what I like a lot that I don't remember ever getting a chance to do with the FS7 because of the rail is the screen pivot on the FX6. You can lay it parallel to the camera, and there's been so many times where I can stand like next to the camera like this with the screen and the lens and run it that way.
Yeah.
And that's been real. I've found that to be useful a lot.
I also feel like that thing is flimsy and it's going to break, though. Scares me to death.
The little flappy close part?
No, just how much that thing moves. Like, and I move it all the time. I'm like, this thing's eventually going to break.
Yeah, I've had the little wings snap off twice, but they go back in.
I've only had mine snap one time.
And when I travel, like when I shoot, I pull it out, and then when I am gonna take the camera and move it, unless I'm just kind of going over here or whatever, I flip it the whole screen in.
Mm-hmm.
Flip the wings down.
Yeah, I do too. If I'm moving, I flip it in.
I put it next to the camera. So.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Winter Productions just wanted to know how the R5 has been for you personally.
I love it. And I know a lot of guys that are running that as their main camera now. Both of Lee's kills this last week were from a freelance guy that we used. And he's shot both of them on the R5 at 4K 120, and it is absolutely beautiful. 4K
120 on that will tear up your computer a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you have a newer rig.
Yeah.
Like it's tore up my
MacBook
Pro.
That's another disadvantage.
And it has tore up my
the files,
my iMac, but
those highly compressed 4K 120 files, man, holy crap. You want to talk about choking a system out. But those 4K 120 FX6 files, uncompressed, much better to work with. Still suck, much better to work with.
Yeah, they choked my MacBook because I did 4K for the trailer shoot, and my MacBook didn't like it. It was okay until you started like speed ramping or putting any sort of effects on there, which is an improvement. On an R5 clip, it wouldn't even play.
Yeah.
Of course, my MacBook Pro is old. I'm about to get the new one. And
we need to do a podcast after you get that too.
Yeah.
We'll be the guinea pigs.
I think I'm the guinea pig because I talked to Chance about it, and he told me what he would recommend, and I'm going to probably get that before he does and kind of let him know my thoughts.
So you're going to be the guinea pig for not only us and the listeners, but also for Chance.
Yeah, I told him too. I'd put TeamViewer on it, and like he can go mess around with it inside of it if he wanted to before he goes and buys one.
Very cool.
Bo said that he got lost on a mountain on his first elk trip.
Hey, Bo, welcome to the club. It wasn't my first elk. It wasn't my first elk trip, but I did get lost on a mountain.
We're gonna need to hear that story.
Was it in Idaho?
Was it cold? Did you almost get attacked by a grizzly bear?
Yeah. So who asked me that the other day? Somebody asked me, like,
did you make it out that, like, how long were you lost?
Yeah. Like,
did you make it off the mountain that night?
Like, losses and turned around and in 5 minutes you figured it out, or like losses and you had to stay the night, like we did.
Or hike for like 7 hours.
Yeah, God bless.
I want to know the story, Bo.
Yeah. So, let us know when you know, or like what the final story is. How's everything going with the oak, with mossy oak? I want to know how it's going.
The oak.
The oak.
Is that what we're gonna call mossy oak?
Call it the oak. Yeah.
The oak.
Yeah.
So what's
deep roots like the oak?
What's real tree gonna be?
The tree. Yeah, the oak and the tree. I mean, it's
the oak and the tree. A tale as old as time.
Rivalry as old as time.
Organ Productions asks, what do you think of the new Apple M1 chips? We don't know. We haven't got one yet.
We've heard really good things, but we haven't gotten one yet. We will have one shortly.
Bo says that New Mexico, and no, just half an hour.
Oh, that doesn't count.
Getting lost.
That's not getting lost.
Turned around.
Yeah, Bo, get out of here with that crap. Okay, so
trying to be all rough and tough.
So you did
lost.
Deseret with Joel next. How'd Deseret go? We got a lot of trips to get through.
It went well.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
I was in Montana with Dudley and Andy Stumpf after that. That was a great trip. Me and Dudley had something happen I'd never had. Well, the first Colorado trip we killed mule deer, I had one go through a culvert in a road, tracking it. Never seen that before. There's a video on YouTube. And then when we went to Montana, he shot a cow in a water hole on video, high speed. I don't know if the video's out yet. Could not have made a better shot. I mean, it was Dudley shooting. I guess it hit a rib and deflected and only hit one lung somehow. We didn't find this cow till like a long time later, and she should have, like, I thought she was gonna die on camera. Like, that was a smoke show shot, and we didn't find her until that evening. You know, we shot her like afternoon, but like, dude, she lived a couple hours. This freaking thing toted this shot, and it was
it did tote it?
Smoker shot. I mean, you could have made a better shot. I guess it hit a rib. But anyway, we ended up finding her, and everything was good. The meat was fine. But, I mean, just like me and Dudley were looking at each other like, how in the heck is this sucker still alive? But it happens. I mean, hell, it even happens to Dudley. But, I mean, he made a great shot. Just one of those things where it's bow hunting, you know, fluky things happen. But Andy Stumpf was there. He killed an antelope, and we shot a lot of stuff. That's why I've got more kills than you and Clay, but no big deal.
By like 2.
Well,
by 2. And you
can't
can't put that on us, okay?
I kind of can.
Not really.
It shows my clear superiority.
I think it shows that Dudley
has more tags and doesn't care about what he shoots.
Dudley wants to kill things. Lee is a lot more choosy about what he kills. Yeah.
Dudley doesn't.
Lee will go home
tags
without killing something.
Dudley will not.
Dudley will not.
Dudley will not.
So you can't put that on Clay and I.
I love Lee, but I'm kind of with Dudley.
Me too.
I mean, I paid for the tag. Like, I went to Kansas for myself this year for 9 days and still have a tag in my pocket. And I'm like trying to figure out how the heck I'm going to get back. And I'm just going to have to tell my wife I'm going to go during my birthday, and she's just going to have to live with it. Because I got almost $500 wrapped up in a tag. And it's like, it's just the principle of it now. You know,
just the principle.
It's just the principle.
Yeah.
You can't let them beat you. No. You know, which I'm also not meant to kill. I'm like, shout out to Will, my buddy I used to work with at Sub 7, who still works there. We're just not meant to kill a big deer. He actually killed a good deer in Kansas this year, so his curse is broken. Mine, however, is not.
You've got terrible whitetail luck.
I really do, dude.
I mean, your elk luck has been pretty typical for what you'd expect for public land.
I'm 2 for 5.
But your whitetail elk. Your whitetail luck has been real bad.
Yeah, real bad. It's real bad. And I don't think I'm a bad whitetail hunter. I just think I have terrible luck. I mean, I've done more whitetail hunting than I have anything.
I think it's just the fact of you just
not living right.
No, you just only get to go for like 4 days.
Yeah, well,
and it's
for sure. See, that's what you need to tell my wife. So he just doesn't get to go enough. That's what you need to
It's
tell
all
him.
a numbers game.
100%.
I mean, there's people grind for 30 days trying to get a whitetail.
So
Wait, hold on. I got a question for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Where do you think the furthest person away listening to us is right now?
Is it the guy from Europe? Who is it?
Jonas.
Yeah, Jonas.
From Denmark.
Jonas. He's in Denmark.
On our
Heck
live
yeah.
right now from
That's
Denmark.
awesome.
What time is it in Denmark?
That's weird.
Is it like early or
Dude,
late?
that guy kills stuff.
I know.
He is steadily posting something he shot over there. And like, I was talking to Sharon, Dudley's wife. She's like, hunting is not a thing over here. Like, people think it's like looked down on, like, and like they don't hunt much. And usually it's like the upper class are the only ones that hunt. And it's like fox hunting and crap like that.
Yeah.
So respect, Jonas, for smoking stuff in Europe. Good for you.
Always smoking stuff.
Heck yeah.
That's cool. That it's weird to me to think that
Yeah.
people
Somebody's
know us
listening
all
to
the
us
way
in
from Europe.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and he's a freaking crazy good photographer.
9 in the evening.
Oh, nice. Heck yeah.
What's the hunting season right now? Like, what's?
I saw him. He posted something the other day. Some like roe deer. I think it's roe.
Yeah.
Is it roe deer
Mm-hmm.
over there? I've never been to Europe, so I don't know.
That'd be cool to go film some. I
bet he knows.
don't
the
even
guy.
know what animals are in Europe to kill.
I know a couple, but definitely not all of them.
Yeah, like I feel like the typical uncultured American. Like, I just don't know.
Uncultured.
I'm sorry.
Uncultured swine.
I'm sorry, Jonas. We're very uncultured.
Is that how you say his name, Jonas?
I hope so.
I do too.
I don't know if you can tell us how to say it better.
Yeah. So
I do bad with everybody's name. So
my next trip was
red deer. He says
red deer.
Roe deer.
Roe
red
deer.
deer.
That's what I thought.
They look like really pretty animals.
Yeah, they do.
And it almost looks like it almost kind of does it. Where does it the pictures remind me of somewhere here in the U.S. Kind of
like
a
Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like really lush and green.
Yeah,
kinda.
Pacific Northwest. Well, it
Very
always
wet,
rains over there.
yeah.
It rains all the time, which I also didn't know this, but in most of the parts like Europe and
Fallow
stuff,
deer.
that it doesn't ever like hurricane or tornado. Like they don't have extreme weather. It rains all the time.
Really?
And they don't see the sun much. I'm like,
I know
don't
about
which
the
one.
sun.
I don't know which one I would rather have. Would you rather make sure like your house is not going to get taken away by a tornado or hurricane, but it's going to rain all the time and you're ever going to see the sun? Like, would you like chance it with some tornadoes and stuff? Okay, so yeah, I kind of am in the same boat.
I would chance it with. Well, I like big storms.
I like them so I can like at a distance.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a weird person. I like the extreme
You are?
things. Like, yeah.
I didn't know that.
I like the kind of the extremes of that stuff. So like when they're the energy. Like you've been in the same area as a big huge storm.
Yeah.
There's just an energy in the air that you can feel.
Well, so there's
that's cool.
There's a shot that I've always wanted to get. I've seen it a couple times, like in photography.
Lightning?
Like you can only do it in Kansas. Well, lightning is one thing, but like we were driving into it in Kansas here for my deer hunt, is a huge like thunderhead, like a huge front, like clear skies and then a big front rolling in that you can see for miles, flying a drone around the edge of that. Always wanted to do that. Oh gosh. And like having lightning popping inside of it and like it's shooting it as wide as you can as you roll around the side or the corner of one of those big thunderheads. Oh,
did I ever
incredible.
send you that shot that Mark and I did from Wyoming way back? There was a big, huge storm rolling in, and Mark, so you know his sense of humor.
Oh yeah.
He was like, "What if I'm gonna go try it?" Like there's lightning coming all over the place, so we're like, we got a good chance of like if he holds his hand out, we might, with perspective, be able to make it seem like lightning. He called lightning to strike, and so we stood out there with the camera. And probably for 5 minutes he was going, "Lightning, come from my hand," and he'd wait just to see if we could by chance get one. And we did. We got one. Funniest thing I've ever been a part of. He did it. And we both realized. He looked at me. He's like, "Hoo!" Like acting like the Rain Man. That was so funny. I don't know if I have that clip anywhere.
You need to find that.
But that was funny.
Oh, yeah, I bet. So, right after that, I went to Iowa and filmed Tiffany kill an absolute freaking slob. I helped Dudley with all the levitate videos first.
Jonas says that there is no dangerous weather, lots of sun and some rain, so we know nothing.
Okay, yeah, we're dumb. Sorry.
Maybe it's just where Sharon's
yeah,
from.
we are. Well, she's from like England and what's the name of the Liverpool or right in there. So I don't know if it's different there, but she said that you don't have much sun there.
Yeah, we know nothing.
Yeah, we don't. We're dumb Americans. I mean, anyway, helped Dudley do the levitate videos in Iowa, and then I went to Crushville and filmed Tiffany kill a freaking giant in like our second sit. So no big deal. Good luck charm. And then y'all went to Alberta for the mule deer hunt.
The mule deer hunt.
Yeah.
Yes.
How'd that go?
It was a mule deer hunt.
All that needs to be said is a mule deer hunt.
I mean, how much? Y'all want me to tell you what a mule deer hunt is like? Or?
Yeah, explain in your words what a mule deer hunt is.
So you wait. The wake up time was nice.
Oh yeah.
I like not having to be up before the sun is up by a large margin. Like with elk hunting, you're like racing the sun, and it's way too early, and you're doing way too much before the sun is up. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Like, it's like, bro, the sun's not even up. We really got to be like sprinting up a hill right now. Like, come on. This seems a little excessive, but whatever. I guess we'll do it.
Dude, I'm right there with you. I feel the same way.
It's just too much.
There's been so many
And
times
I'm
like, I'm not even awake good yet, dude, and we're climbing this hill. Like, come on, man, chill it out a
I'm
little
not
bit.
grumpy in the morning. It's just I don't really want to be up that early. I really don't. But I'm there. Whatever. I like elk hunting. I don't like the fact that they got to be up that early. I got to be up that early for them. With mule deer, it's like you get up and you wait until you can see, and then you hop in a truck, like snacks. Got lots of snacks. I stacked coffee.
We saw the seatback pocket that you were working with there.
Yeah. So I got the coffee. We got the snack spread. Hey, speaking of Alberta, Greg, the guy I filmed in Alberta, is on.
Hey,
so Greg, we're talking
what's
about
up,
Alberta.
buddy? We're talking about you right now. All good things.
All good things. And so you get in the truck, and then you just drive roads and mostly not roads all day.
Mostly not roads.
I felt like I got beat up in the back of a truck for like.
Oh, dude, was it at least like a decently riding truck, or was it not a good riding truck?
No, they're ranch trucks.
Oh.
So they're meant for ranching.
Dude.
And I'm in the back of it, and
It's always worse in the back.
Have you been to Alberta with the gopher holes? I don't know what kind of gophers they got up there.
But they're grown. They're grown.
There's a lot of them, and they make a lot of holes, and they're everywhere out there.
No, I've not been to that part of Alberta that y'all were in, where it's just like rolling sand hills.
It's crazy. There's forever not a tree. I didn't see a tree. I've never.
The whole time you were there, you didn't see a tree?
Cannot recall seeing a tree.
Even like when you got on the airplane?
No, we drove up there.
Oh yeah, even driving up there, you didn't see a tree?
I don't remember seeing a tree.
Oh my gosh!
Like, I don't think there's a tree. It just rolls.
Yeah,
man. It just rolls forever and ever
endless.
and ever.
It's like, how did they even get there?
Yeah.
And what are they eating?
Well, they out there in that particular, I guess, region or property, they come into the ag fields to eat. That's where you see a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of, not all of them, but a decent population of them, a decent number of them come into the ag fields. And so they kind of stage up around the ag fields, and then they'll come in the morning, and they'll go back up, and in the evening they come back down.
So you're hunting all day, or just morning and evening?
All day. We're out all day.
Wow.
So you get in the truck with all the stuff you might need for the day, and then you drive around looking. Mornings, you would usually see them, and then like a couple times we tried to, there was one that we were going after, and he was on the side of a hill. And
you and Greg or you and Lee?
Me and Greg. I was with Greg. Clay was with Lee. So we were two separate trucks on two
Until Greg killed early because he's clearly superior.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Freaking sniped it too.
That's awesome.
So there was one that I think we saw it the first day, and they have the same sort of, they like to go to the same sort of areas. You're able to.
They were kind of already
them.
in a pattern again.
Yeah, and so they come down, do their thing, and he kind of had an area that he liked to be when he left the fields. And a couple of days he'd be in the field, so we couldn't get to him in the field. Then he'd move up, and there was no real way to get to him that way. And then he would kind of pick his bed, and we would wait for, like, one day I think we sat for probably half the day just watching him, waiting to see if he would make a mistake.
Dang.
To where you could sneak up on him, because we're archery hunting, so you have to be able to get within 50 yards of them or so.
Yeah.
And so between how the terrain lies and there being very little, there wasn't trees that you could kind of really sneak up on them, so your avenues of approaches were really limited. Obviously, they got other deer around them, so they're six covered and everything like that, and then you got to play the wind. So really, you have to sit and wait for
the right situation,
the exact right situation. And we made 2 stalks. One got ruined by a tractor trailer rolling down the road, like not even close road. I mean, the little dirt highway they had was not very close, but it was like squeaking or something, and it scared the deer, so they ran. And then another one, coyote. It was just came right up on it, and deer saw the coyote, and then they looked, and it was like us, and they left. So we had 2 stalks where
deer.
They got ruined by factors outside of our control, and then on the 4th evening.
So y'all blew 0 stocks. Y'all were just murking.
Oh yeah, we would have 100% both of those stocks. We probably could have Was
it the same deer?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
We probably could have got so close that Greg could have leapt up on him and knifed him, but he would have done the bow,
knifed him from a distance.
To be safe.
Knifed him from a distance.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's how good we are.
Exactly.
So the other 2.
So Greg killed Greg Glessinger, not Greg Ritz, and then you.
Yeah, with Drury Outdoors.
And then you went with Lee and Clay, and then Lee killed 3 days later?
3 or 4. Yep.
Yeah. So doubled up there. So I had a 2-deer kill list. Clay only got 1. Clay's just playing catch up at this point.
Oh,
He's in a distant 3rd place.
Oh, wait. We skipped my Colorado elk hunt with Lee and Brantley.
Brantley, yeah.
And Lee did not kill, but Brantley killed one on the
Lee just couldn't find one he was happy with.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's waiting on the oldest, most mature, and he'll eat a tag. He's there for one reason only, and I've got the respect in the world for him because there ain't no way I could do it. I'd be slinging. He's a better man than me. I would.
Well,
I'd be slinging.
I always feel like I'm not especially with mule deer, but especially with mule deer, also with elk. Whitetails too. I don't really know how to judge any of these animals, so I can be like, that's a small one, that's a medium one, that's a really big one.
But once small, medium, large, you just don't know the differences.
Yeah, and small, medium, large, I personally would probably shoot any of them.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, he's too small. I'd shoot him. What do you think of him? I'd be like, that's a good deer.
Man, I've been on so many hunts.
And it's just all of them look like good deer to me usually.
I've been with people before that like it's a guest or, like I was with a guest with Lee and Tiffs later, in November this year. And, he's asked, I was like, which deer did Lee tell you to shoot? He's like, he told me I could shoot this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. And I'm like, well, I hope you know which deer you can and can't shoot because if it's up to me, I'm going to tell you to shoot. I'm like, I can talk you to shoot anything. Me and Belmore, we make it a game on trips. Like if it's a deer, we're in a borderline deer and it's not us shooting, be like, dude, you smoked that deer. He's 100%. Heck yeah, he's plenty big enough. Heck yeah, deer's 100 years old. Shoot him. Just see if we can talk somebody into shooting the wrong deer. Because everybody's always, when it's not your place, not your farm, your ranch or whatever, you're always like, should I, should I not? I'm like, you better give me clear directive. Because if I don't have clear directive, I'm going to tell them to shoot. Because I like seeing stuff get shot. Because I get paid whether they don't get shot or get shot. I would rather get shot. Excuse me.
That was like when we'd go with with Kip is the same thing. Like, you have to be very clear what the parameters are with Kip.
Same
like,
thing with Chuck.
What can you shoot? What do not shoot?
Yeah.
This, don't shoot this. You can shoot this one. You can shoot this age class, this size class. Like, if you don't, if it is not explicitly said that you can't shoot that,
yeah,
might get shot.
Forgiveness over permission. I'm all about it. So, what was after that? Then I went to Texas with Chuck. I actually had Chuck Belmore freelance for me. That was a fun trip. Me and Brian did not kill. Chuck and Billy did. And I took the podcast stuff with me and meant to do a podcast, and we never did do it. And I really wish we would have, because that would have been a podcast. and like we got back from like the first couple evenings, and like they had a bunch of deer on them. And Chuck's like kind of talking through, like, man, it was tough, this many deer, and like moving around, trying to get this shot and this shot. And I'm like, so you have a little more respect for what we do? And he's like, oh, absolutely not. I can do this crap in my sleep. Yeah. He's like, absolutely. This is the most gravy job. And now I feel like, he's like, now I know I was taken advantage of for all those years. I'm like, I hate your guts so much.
Well, he was running glorified kill cam, wasn't he? He wasn't like doing the full producer job, was he?
Chuck, I really hope you hear this. I brought him there to run glorified kill cam, and he exceeded my expectations.
Okay, hey,
he did.
That's good. Guess who's on right now? Guess who's on right now?
Is he really?
Not him.
Who?
Clay.
Oh, is he? He's just not getting there.
Clay's
he just texted me a minute ago. I
looked at my watch.
I sent him to run glorified kill cam, and he did better than I thought. He got the kill. He screwed up 2 times.
Oh.
But they were both okay. So he shot cutaways after the kill. Problem is,
didn't have the arrow.
No, they shot the deer in low light, and he shot cutaways in the middle of the day, and like didn't frame the window out, so you can see it's middle of the day. And I was like, you got to shoot those again. So the next morning they got up, went and shot him again. So it's okay. It's recoverable. Second thing, on the recovery with the whole group, his camera was virtually unusable because
was he too in it?
He was in it. He was just master wide and just not following anything. He was just like praying.
Was he talking behind the camera?
No, he wasn't. Luckily, he wasn't talking behind the camera. But those 2 things, if I had to give him feedback, those were the 2 things that I'd give him feedback. But everything else, like he did a good job of getting footage of deer, which is, the spy point thing, there's not a ton of product stuff you have to get. But me and Brian did not see anything. It was complete trash. I did not know you could go to Texas and not see a deer, but you can. We did it a couple of times.
Only you.
But the thing is, I'd had so many good trips in front of that. Like, I'd had a freaking baller season, and I'm like, I'm just going to keep rolling through every place and kill. And also took probably my favorite recovery pictures I've ever taken with Billy's deer. Absolutely love those recovery pictures.
Really?
That deer was so cool.
I don't feel like I've seen those.
Oh, really? I'll show them to you. Some of my favorites. They were we tried to do a different, like really long into my lens type thing, and it was in a different angle without the bow and everything. It's just more like not Texas style, but I guess you would call them kind of Texas style recovery. Didn't look like Texas. Super cool place. Edit turned out good. Chuck gave me everything I needed to do an edit, so he did a good job. Can't complain.
Clay just said, let me join this shiz. I said no.
Too late. You missed it. We've
also,
been podcasting for 48 minutes already.
I don't know if I can. I'd have to get up and do it on that phone. I don't know.
Oh, he wants to join right there?
Yeah, on the live.
Oh, sorry.
But people won't be able to hear you on the podcast, Clay.
Yeah. So that's going to be a negative.
Just could have been here.
Well, he has been here a lot.
Yeah.
He's with his fam, so it's okay.
I can still give him crap.
I know. I'm just trying to lighten the load a little bit on him, because he did hunt with Lee for 22 straight days after the same deer.
He did.
He
did
literally
a 50-day run on the. He did a 50-day run.
Oh, I know.
That's a long run.
Well, he did 22 straight days in a tree stand with Lee Lukoski, and that is not an easy thing to do. He did it the morning he left. He's in his truck driving home to Georgia, and Lee killed the deer they've been hunting for 22 days. So
that feels like betrayal. That would hurt me a little bit inside.
I told him Nate told him, and I'm pretty sure Lee told him, that is always what happens. Like, that happened to Lovey a couple of times, where he would grind it for 20, 30 days with Lee, hunting the same deer, and then as soon as they leave, kills within a day or two. And then now Lee's killed 2 in 4 or 5 days. Both his target deer with Cody, one of the guys that we use for freelance, and Clay's like, does life even matter?
Just existential dread.
I get it too. But I told him when he signed up for the gig, this is what it was. It's a grinding and grinding and grinding. That's what it is. You got to love whitetails.
Do you know what I haven't done this year?
What?
Sat in a whitetail stand.
Ooh. And the thing is, now it's going to be late season, and if you do have to go, you'll get to sit in the redneck. You won't have to get a deer stand. Look at you. Unless you go with Lee. He does like to sit in stands sometimes late season when it's cold. But you'll probably sit in a redneck. Well, he's already killed both his deer.
I might not. You don't know. Like, we're talking today about the plan for December.
Yeah.
There wasn't a whitetail trip in there for me yet.
Not yet. Yeah, well, there might not be. And Brian said he might do his last hunt in Georgia, so you might just go sit with Brian again. You get with that? Another ground blind set?
Do it in 45 minutes from home. Just roll down there, show up to Brian's place.
You've been going pretty hard this year, so I guess I could try and round out the year with some nice, easy ones, maybe.
We could.
You're not going to complain about it.
Yeah. Clay has bore the brunt of the days for sure.
Oh, he has.
51 and 31. He just put it in the chat.
Oh, yeah. Mild flex there on the Instagram chat.
Mild flex.
So.
I mean, I'll be honest. I don't think. 51 days, I'd lose my mind.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Like, I did 30 days, and granted, it was mule deer for 30 days mostly. And so,
well,
like,
okay, hold on a second.
Hold on a second.
He did a whole week in there was his own hunt in Nebraska. So it doesn't really count.
That's true. So what? But he was still gone for 51 days, we put it.
Yeah, but he chose to do the mule deer hunt, so that's on him.
Yeah. All I know is I had like 29 days. Probably 3/4 of it was mule deer trips. They were fun. Loved the people I was with. Really pretty country. I have horrific ADHD, and there's only so much like sitting in a truck I can do before like I just kind of start to lose creativity because I feel like I've got the same shots 45,000 times.
Yeah.
So, at a certain point, like I just kind of get wore out, and 30 days I think is kind of like where I'm.
Oh, dude, 30 days is too long.
30 days is
done
more than I'd really like.
I think it was 48 or 50. This would have been the year before you came to work for me. It would have been 2018. It would have been 50 straight. I had a 2-day gap. After 33 days, I came home for 2 days, long enough to see kids, repack, wash clothes, and went straight back to BC for 2 weeks. And that was a long one. I was ready to be home. So like I told you and like I told Clay, I'm not going to send y'all and do anything I hadn't had to do myself. But there ain't no way. I told him, there's no way around it. I don't care, and this is for you guys listening to the podcast on Instagram. I don't care how much you think you love to hunt. You can love it more than anything in the world. When you have to do it, not even a choice, have to do it on, granted, some of the best ground, best places, best farms, best ranches in the world for 30, 40, 50 days straight, it is work, man. And with a bow in your hand or with a camera in your hand, it doesn't matter. It is a grind all day, every day. And here's the problem, and this is what everybody, when I get home, they're like, where are you going next? They're like, it's hunting season, you shouldn't be here. It's like, yeah, I shouldn't be. It's because the thing is, hunting season is only so long. It's September to, January, middle of January. You got to get so much done in such a short amount of time. If we could stretch hunting season out 365 days a year, and we had 150 days where we could be gone 10, be home 10, be gone 10, be home 10. It'd be the best job ever. You could spread it out to where it's nice gaps, nice trips, nice gaps, or gone a week, home a week, gone a week, home a week. That'd be the best thing ever. It just never works out like that. You have to grind for 30, 40 days of elk season because it's only a certain amount of time. You get a couple days off. If you get a couple days off, then you're right into whitetails. And whitetails is a all-day, everyday thing. It's, like you said, time in the seat is what kills deer. And we have to be there to get the whole story, the whole everything, and to get the kills. There's just no way around it. It's you're doing a year's worth of work in 3.5 months. And but for us, since we edit and stuff too, like we don't really get a break. Now next year we have some things we want to do and some hopefully new and exciting things we're working on. But right now we still got another month of the season. I mean, it's Thanksgiving. Tiffany's still got at least one more deer to kill. They've got guests coming in December. Brian's got another trip. We've got a video launch we're doing in December that me and Ryer talked about today. It's not over yet, and we just got through with the rut. And I actually didn't film a deer kill in the rut. Saw a bunch of good deer. Actually, the only person that filmed a kill in the rut would have been Cody, the guy that freelances for us. So, but we're still hunting. Like Cody and Thomas are still there in Iowa right now hunting. I mean, all day, every day. Season's still upon us, but outlook for the rest of the year is, I don't know. Still got more to do. I wanted to talk about this before we got done because we're almost at an hour. We are doing the editing school. It is going to be, let me confirm the dates here, February the 4th, arrive February the 4th through the 6th. So it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I want everybody to get here as soon as you can on Friday. We're going to have a 3-day editing class. Now, I've been getting asked about regular production class too. We might try and do a production class in conjunction with that. I don't know yet. I'm working on it because we've had a lot more interest in the production class than the editing class because the editing class is more expensive. But trust me when I tell you, it's intense and you're going to learn a crap ton at the editing class.
That's whenever we're done off the road. I put quotations because we have trips all year round. But as soon as really the busy season winds down and we can start kind of gearing towards next year, Caleb and I and Clay are going to sit down and really plan out and detail kind of like a curriculum and a plan, maybe gather some materials and stuff to really have a plan of attack for that editing course. So it's going to be we're going to put some effort into really dialing into editing.
And another thing is I've been asked if we're going to offer one-on-one editing classes. It's not something we have done yet or we have said we're going to do. But if we have enough people out there that are interested in one-on-one classes where you come here and sit with us and we go through that curriculum or that, and we can kind of meet you where you're at, I'd be very interested in doing it, especially after the first of the year, through the beginning of spring and then into the summer. If we can schedule and it works in our schedule and your schedule, and that's something you'd be interested in doing, reach out to us. If we have enough people, I've had 3 or 4 people ask about it, and I was like, well, I hadn't really thought about that, but honestly, it might be even easier to do one-on-one classes. We'll do the group class for sure, and if you want to sign up for the group class, go on Instagram and look up the post. $500 deposit, and it's $1,500 total for the class, and we only have 10 slots. But we have a whole new office next door we're probably going to do that in, or at least utilize for that. So if you're interested in one-on-one class or interested in the group class, reach out and let me know, and we'd be more than happy to do it. And we're going to do another production class probably sometime around that same time, just because I'm getting questions about that too. So just follow the social media pages, and when we know, we'll let you know. And if you have questions in the meantime, obviously ask us. We get questions every day from people about stuff. So, and it's usually the same people asking questions. So don't be afraid to ask questions. You got anything else?
Clay gave me crap for my shoes. And
okay, I gave him crap for his shoes.
Yeah, well, they're Air Force Ones.
They're horrible.
Okay. I think it's stylish.
No,
and
it's not.
I was gifted these. I think they're pretty neat. Like I don't know. I wouldn't like go out and buy these myself, just because I
would hope not.
I might now though.
For those of you,
I might now though. Like I like these shoes.
No, for those of you out there,
you just don't have a freaking sense of style.
For those of you out there, and I've told Dudley this, and Brock, if you listen to this, I love you to death. Those are horrible, and I do not understand why someone would wear them. They're hideous shoes. That's my 2 cents.
I see why people wear them. I've never held that opinion.
I don't.
I just never saw.
Never understood why you would spend good money on something that ugly.
I think they're 100.
No, they're ugly.
I like them. And then I got this new shirt from Black Rifle. Probably my new favorite shirt.
I do like that. The pinup model on a AR, you can't beat that. I mean, that's America right there.
Yeah.
So American. All right, that's it. Peace.